Ambulance celebrated its 25th anniversary, and today we welcome the Chief Operating Officer at JCA, Paul Hood. Hi, Paul.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the show, and happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Actually, November 6th of 1996 was when we started, so we're actually 26 years old now,
Oh, wow.
as of 3 days ago.
Yeah, well, so the 25th year was celebrated
Correct.
with a special event. I believe you waited to hold this celebration because you were in a big construction project.
We did. We actually purchased the dilapidated car wash and doctor's office on the corner of Jackson and Ingham there, and we put $1.5 million into the new building. It's beautiful. We're very proud of it, and it gives our employees a lot more space to be able to move out and to take care of our vehicles.
That stretch of Jackson Street's really changed in the last few years with the Center for Family Health campus and United Way and
Yes.
now Jackson Community Ambulance. It really is. It's one of the finest blocks in town.
Well, thank you.
We have some photos from the event, and maybe you can give us a little tour as we look through the
Sure.
photos from JTV's Jeff Steers.
So this is the front entrance to the building. This is where the employees come in from the parking lot. This is a history through the years of where we actually started. This is Huron Valley Ambulance, was created in 1981. In 1990, we actually went to electronic dispatching. In 1995, we started Lenawee Community Ambulance. And in 1996, we started Jackson Community Ambulance. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Georgia Fatasic, who was the president of the hospital at the time, saw that the ambulance service was failing here in Jackson County, and she called us and said, hey, I'd like to do a joint venture with you guys and have you operated. Georgia had operated a hospital down in Texas before, and she actually ran an ambulance service and realized how difficult it is to actually run an ambulance service versus a hospital, so two different wheelhouses for her. So she trusted us to come in and create that for her. And and then soon thereafter, we acquired Albion Community Ambulance. They were failing as well. We got about 2 days worth of notice there, and we had to come in and take over. In 2000, we created Alliance Mobile Health, which is in the Troy area, up in Oakland County. In 2003, I can't see what that one was.
Well, it's really an upward graph that shows all the expansion because now you're serving, 10 counties?
We're actually serving between the ambulance service, which we have about 163 ambulances, and the PACE programs. We do 4 PACE programs in southern Michigan. We do the Huron Valley PACE, the Tomei PACE, the Berrien PACE, and the Battle Creek PACE. And those are spread out from Lake Erie all the way to Lake Michigan. And this is somebody that we're very proud of. This is Betsy McDavid. She's our quality supervisor in Jackson. She does a phenomenal job. She actually produces a lot of the statistics and stuff that I'm holding in my hand right now. I wasn't sure what kind of questions you were going to ask, so I asked her for some data, and she was able to produce that for me. She actually oversees our community paramedic program too. Mugs and stuff that we had that we were giving out to everybody that showed up for the open house. Bart, I'll get you one over because
That's
we have
great.
a couple of them left over.
Yeah, well, the cake's probably gone.
Yeah, the cake's gone. You're not going to get any of that. These 3 gentlemen here, John Warden, he's the retired fire chief from Summit Township. He's on the board. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and John is on our board. Ron Slagle in the middle there is our president and CEO. And the gentleman on the left is William Engelter. He was one of the original people that started with us in 1996 and has progressed up through the ranks. He's now the Parma Sandstone Fire Chief, and he's also the Deputy Chief at the City of Lansing for Emergency Services.
Nice. I know several of your team, paramedics, and others that work for JCA, and one thing I've noticed that they have longevity. You have a lot of people that have been with you for a long time.
They do. We've actually got employees that have been with us for over 40 years.
Wow.
And they're still doing it. I'll throw a shout out to Steve Jascott, who's been with us for over 40 years, and he's one of our community paramedics. That's the program that we put together to be able to help patients stay at home versus coming into the emergency department. As emergency departments are getting overloaded with patients, we figured out a way to be able to do a telecommunications visit. Plus, we put a bunch of additional equipment on their vehicle for them so they can do laboratory tests and all that other stuff in the field to make the doctor feel comfortable.
And really, it's just like on TV now in Jackson County.
It really is.
Before, now, in the early days, and really before the creation of JCA, our ambulances pretty much just picked people up and brought them to the hospital.
They did. We've been incentivized wrong since probably the early 1970s. The only way ambulances get paid is if they take somebody to the hospital. But the government has realized that that's probably not the best way to incentivize the ambulance services to do the right thing. So, a lot of patients don't need to necessarily go to the emergency department. People call 911 because they're scared. 94%, 95% of the calls that we have that we run emergently to, we only take about 4 or 5% of them to the hospital emergently again.
Really? Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh. So you solved the problem on the spot.
We do have a lot of medications and stuff with us, and we do have the ability to communicate with the emergency room doctors, and so they're able to see them face to face. And Medicare has stepped up. It's called ET3, Emergency Triage, Treat, and Transport. So we can go to alternative destinations where we couldn't before. It always had to be an emergency department. But now we can take somebody to an urgent care or their doctor's office.
No kidding.
Yes.
Huh. I always wondered, if you have an accident and you need an ambulance, if you have a choice where you go, or if the
well, acuity plays a part in that. Obviously, if you're critically injured in the accident, you're going to go to the closest facility.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not, then you can choose where you want to go to, and we'll take you there. Obviously, within reason. If you want to go to St. Mary's in Livonia, we're probably going to try to convince you to go to one of the other 10 hospitals between here and St. Mary's. So.
Right. And we'll see once in a while in town an ambulance that looks like a Jackson Community Ambulance vehicle, but it says Lenawee or Albion, and that's you move equipment around?
We do. We actually own and operate all of them. We just make them local brands in each one of the communities that they serve. And whenever the call volume becomes higher in one area, we shift resources. It's called system status management. So we shift resources over. You'll see Huron Valley ambulances here, taking patients out of the hospital and taking them back over towards Ann Arbor. So they're utilizing those resources instead of them being station based or just in one area. We utilize it's constantly in motion.
Yeah, and I'll see an ambulance parked, in a driveway or a parking lot somewhere. And you're also a big part of the major events we have in the community. I saw your people at Bright Walls. They've been at football games.
Yes.
People that are doing events, they can work with you to make sure there's coverage.
They do, and they call us. We do the NASCAR events down at the Speedway. We do faster horses. We do high school football games. And we want to make sure that people are safe out there, so we get those resources to them whenever they need them.
And being a nonprofit, how do you fund? What's the revenue model?
Well, the revenue stream that we primarily have is from transporting our patients. Whenever we do events like NASCAR, the Speedway will actually pay us an hourly stipend to be down there with the resources and stuff that we have. At the University of Michigan football games, we have about 90 people that work at a football game.
Oh, wow.
And they actually pay us directly. So that's the revenue stream for that. But you know, a lot of the hockey games and local football, high school football games and stuff, it's gratis. We do that for the community because it's the right thing to do. It's like our PACE programs. We wanted to partner with people in the community that look like us and make us better. So providing transportation for the Tomei PACE was a no-brainer for us. We were able to actually just, you know, reach out to them and say, hey, you know, instead of you guys trying to do this on your own, we've got expertise in this. Let us help you.
It seems like we're pretty lucky in this community that we do have this high level of service, because some communities don't.
And a lot of communities don't, and especially whenever you get a little further west of here, you know, whenever you get out into St. Joe's County and Branch County and things like that, you know, the resources are a lot more thin. So yeah, we're very blessed to have all of the things that we have here in Jackson County, and we got a great progressive medical director in Dr. Phil. He's always looking for ways to make us better. You know, technology's changing the way that we do business. So, you know, up until 2000, we couldn't tell if somebody was having a heart attack in the field. Now we can actually do a 12 lead on them and show that they're having a heart attack. We call the hospital, they preset the cath lab, so the patients just move smoothly through the process, and they're able to get their catheterization done as quickly as possible and lose less heart muscle as they're waiting.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you and everyone at Jackson Community Ambulance on your first 25 years.
Great. Thank you for having me, Bart.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Paul. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Paul Hood is Chief Operating Officer for Jackson Community Ambulance. Well, next it's time for birthday.